Everybody, thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to do the 5-day forecast today. We're going to be seeing some pretty unsettled weather coming up over the next couple of days, but then we should get some drier weather across many parts of the country through Friday and into Saturday, but still question marks remain about Sunday. Now, before we get on with the video, I just want to talk about the advertising. There'll usually be a video ad overlaying my weather videos at gazweathervids.com. Please play those videos. You'll be supporting gazweathervids.com if you do that. And just to say that you do not need to download any additional software to watch this video or watch my videos on gazweathervids.com. These are YouTube videos. They should play on all browsers and computers without any additional software being needed. Right then, so here's today's situation. Wednesday the 10th of October. We've got high pressure ridging across the country. We've got low pressure out in the Atlantic, and that low pressure will be coming across the country through the course of tonight and tomorrow. But for today, actually a lot of fine weather across many places. It's cloudy in the far southwest with some patchy drizzle about in one or two places, but most areas of the country today having a nice autumnal day, fair amount of sunshine and largely dry as well. Now it is chilly, temperatures just 13s, 14s across many places, maybe up to 15 or 16 in the far south. That's around 59 to 61 Fahrenheit, not far off the seasonal average really, and with light winds it doesn't feel too bad. Nice autumnal day. Now as we go through into tonight, we're going to find this area of low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. That's going to bring cloud and outbreaks quite heavy rain into Ireland, Wales, southwest and western parts of Scotland as well. Will be turning wet through the course of the night. For central east there, so a lot of dry and fine weather. There's some fog patches possible in the first part of the night, but much of that will tend to go, I think, later in the night as the cloud starts to thicken up from the west and the breeze begins to pick up. It's going to be chilly in the east with temperatures just 3 or 4 degrees, so low enough for some ground frost in some east and northeast parts of the country, but milder in the west where we've got the wind and the rain, with temperatures probably not falling much lower, but around 9 or 10 down in the far southwest of the country, so quite a mild night. Now as we go into Thursday, this low pressure is coming across the country. That's taking cloud and heavy rain in off the Atlantic across the British Isles. The far southeast probably not getting the rain arriving until mid to late afternoon, but elsewhere it is going to be a wet day tomorrow with some quite heavy and persistent rain in all areas. The heaviest rain always in the north and west, not as heavy or persistent in the south, but even so it will still be wet across those southern parts of the country. Just that the heaviest rain will tend to be in the north. Anyway, later on in the day we'll probably get a heavier pulse of rain even coming into the south and the southeast. Temperatures tomorrow will be on the cool side in the north, just 10s, 11s at best. In the south, actually, we bring up some slightly warmer air with this low pressure, so temperatures may lift up to around 17 degrees in the southeast before that rain rises. That's 63 Fahrenheit. It's about the average, really, for this time of the year. But of course, temperatures will drop down then as the rain moves through. As we go into Friday, we've got this low pressure hanging close really to eastern and northern Scotland, so I expect a cloudy, wet day for much of northern and eastern Scotland, a real washout day possible up there, and there could well be some hill and mountain snow as well associated with that rain. The rest of the country though having a brighter day, chance of a few showers, particularly around western and southern coast, but really a lot of dry weather I think on Friday with some sunny spells. It's going to be cool, but a very cool day. Temperatures probably not getting much higher, but around 11, 12 or 13 in the south, and staying in single figures in the north at just 6s, 7s and 8s for much of Scotland, particularly of course under that persistent rain. These temperatures are more like you'd expect in November really, so a really cool day on Friday. Now as we go into a Saturday, that low pressure is still sitting there close to eastern Scotland, so there's the potential for more heavy rain for the north and the east of Scotland, I'm afraid. That rain will probably get lighter as we move through the course of the day, tending to peter out I think through the course of Saturday. The rest of the country again, a few showers possible around northern and western coast, maybe an area of more general showery weather coming through Northern Ireland into northwestern England, but elsewhere a fair amount of fine weather on Saturday. Temperatures again very much on the cool side. There could be a very cold start with a widespread frost. Eventually temperatures struggling up to around 12 or 13 perhaps in the south, but that is below average for the middle of October. Now, question marks still remain about Sunday. It doesn't look as though we're going to take an area of low pressure in across England and Wales, causing an absolute washout. That was the situation yesterday, you remember. But what we're probably looking at today is this low pressure coming down the eastern side from eastern Scotland. And that could just bring an area of showery rain through northern England in towards England and Wales, particularly eastern and central parts of England and down into the southeast. But there's a lot of uncertainty still around Sunday. It may be, but actually a lot of us get away with a dry and bright day, but I say uncertain really for Sunday. Whatever happens, it's going to be another very cool day, a cold start with widespread frost in many parts of the country. Temperatures again maybe struggling up to around 12 or 13 degrees if we're lucky, but really temperatures will be very much on the cool side. And then finally, as we go into Monday and we end the forecast period, we've got this deep area of low pressure moving in off the Atlantic. So although Monday may start off on a dry and fine note with again a very cold start, I think we'll find it turning wet and very windy potentially across many western parts of the country through the course of the day, with a chance of some gales and some heavy rain, and that rain will sweep across all parts of the country through the course of Monday evening and into Tuesday. Finally, having a look at the charts from theweatheroutlook.com, and this is the chart for today. Lots of dry, fine and sunny weather across the country. A really nice autumnal day, although it is chilly. There's the rain for tomorrow. Rain setting in across all parts of the country, moving in off the Atlantic. It's going to be a very unpleasant day indeed, although temperatures do lift up a little bit in the southeast for a time. Friday, well, it's a lot of dry weather here. I think this may be overdoing the shower potential for Friday, although for northern and eastern Scotland we do keep it wet and cold up there, but elsewhere a fair amount of fine weather for Friday, and not too bad at all on Saturday either. Still that persistent rain for the north and the east of Scotland, although it will get lighter through the course of the day, but elsewhere a good deal of dry weather. Temperatures very much on the cool side though, much cooler than they should be for the time of year, more like November temperatures. And then the question marks about Sunday, we could take that showery rain down across England in particular, but that is quite uncertain. And then as we go into Monday, well, fair amount of dry weather for central east parts of the country, but turning wet and windy in the west later on, and that will probably then set us up for a very, very unsettled week next week. So in summary, well, we're going to be seeing a fine day for today, heavy rain across many parts of the country on Thursday. That rain persists through Friday and Saturday across northern and eastern Scotland, a real cold, wet washout for the northeast of Scotland, I'm afraid, Friday and Saturday. But elsewhere, a fair amount of dry weather on both days, although a few showers scattered around. Question marks for Sunday, and then for Monday it turns wet and windy after a fine start. And throughout this period, except for a brief window later on tomorrow in the southeast, it is going to be cool or cold with temperatures well below the seasonal average. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.